Hello, my lovelies. So, I'm a very clever bunny today. I managed to find out that I can move my viewfinder. I don't know why it took me this long, but all this time I've been straining and struggling to see what I've been recording, and I've been hurting myself, and so I found that I can move the viewfinder, so now I can relax a bit more and not hurt as much while recording videos. So yeah, I'm smart. um, I wanted to come on here though to share with you the last deck that I've received in the mail. I mentioned in a previous video that I'm going to try to stop myself from buying any more decks for this year and probably next year or half of next year. And that's just because the way I work with decks, I can't continuously buy deck after deck after deck and continue to work as normal with the ones that I already own, and also build a relationship with the ones that are coming into me. I'm not one of those people. I have to put a limit to how many I can buy, and once I reach that limit, I ban myself from buying any more, and I work on the relationship then and there with those decks, those new decks, and also working with my old decks. If any deck doesn't feel right to me anymore, then I will be moving it on. But I'm not like one of those people who can just always buy decks. And also I am starting to buy more self-published decks, and I need to save money to buy these decks, but also because I am getting married in May next year, and so we need to save money for the wedding, and I'm interested to see how long I can go without buying a new deck. Also, this is not an unboxing and it's not a review, it's just me expressing what I feel and think about this deck, showing you some of the cards that stand out to me the most, and also with this particular deck wanting to share with you some of the cards that don't really resonate with me and ones I'm not really impressed with. And I hate to bring anything negative to a new deck, and I'm not sure how many times I can say deck, but yeah. I just don't really like having anything bad against artists, their work, especially self-published ones. I know it can take a great deal of time and effort and energy and dedication to do one single image, let alone create 78 images if it's a tower. So I do have great respect, and I don't mean to put a negative spin on this particular deck. It's how I feel at the moment. It's my first initial expression. It might change along the way. I just have to start working with it a bit more, but initially this is how I feel. So if the artist does watch this video, I am sorry that there is something negative in here, but I just have to say how I feel, sort of thing. So the deck that I'm talking about is Shades of Magick by Jess Gore, and I don't want to try and compare this deck to another deck, but I find it hard not to when there's one particular version that is my favourite, and it is the Animus Os Fortuna. I don't know why I have such a difficult time trying to say that word, but as you can see, they are very similar in style and theme, and this one brought me into the world of this style and theme, and I always look for new decks based on this because of this one, and that's why I did buy Shades of Magick. So I'm trying not to compare, but I guess everybody's the same with one of their few favourites that they own. So yeah, I'm trying to find my notes. This was on GoFundMe and it started in June, but I found this on her Etsy page, and I will be linking all of her information in the description box below as usual. This was for pre-order, and at the time it was $30. I know the price has gone up a little bit, I believe, due to manufacturing costs, but initially it was $30, which is £15.82 for the UK. The shipping was $22.50. That's £7.91, and I had to pay another custom fees, which is an extra £11.64. So in total I spent £35.37 on this deck, which is not that bad really, considering it is a self-published deck. So yeah, this is what it comes in, just a standard box really. A deck inspired by crystals, bones and insects. The Magician. With it, if I can find it, it comes with a guidebook. Now I am slightly disappointed with the guidebook because this is it. I did expect a little bit more. I was hoping that there would be something more information on the reason behind this deck, the creation of it, the reason behind certain images, or why they chose this style, or things like that. You know, I would have found really interesting to be in that little book, to have it a bit more personal for the one who is buying this deck. I also, when it comes to the major arcana, some of the images I find a little bit difficult to detect what animal or insect it is, so it would have been nice to have some sort of hint in with the major arcana. It does come with a spread, and it is the spiritual guidance spread, an 8-card spread. I haven't tried it yet, but it is pretty much just keywords for each card, and I mean that can be really good if you already know your information about tarot and you don't really need any more information. And also the card images could also give you a lot more meaning than is in the guidebook itself. So I'm just a little bit disappointed that it was so little in a way. I just would have liked to see a bit more. So I'm just going to get on with the negative parts of it first, so I can get that over and done with. So the cards that I'm not so keen on. I'll show you the back. The back is really nice. And yes, it is borderless. To me personally, I would have liked a border. I feel like it would have framed the images a lot better. To me, it kind of gets blurred into one, considering the background is black and the images are black themselves, so it just kind of gets lost in some way. And that's really why I'm not really keen on these images. This one is probably one of the reasons why I would have liked a keyword in the book. I'm I'm sure this is a horse, but I'm not really sure. And I think these are moths, I think. Either moths or butterflies, but like I can hardly see that image there unless I look really closely. I mean, that's what you're going to do when you are looking at this card, but at first glance I didn't really detect that there was two. And some of the images I feel like are unfinished as well. There's nothing wrong with her art style and artwork. The images, they are absolutely beautiful. It's just, to me, like this one especially, I feel like they are a bit unfinished. That is Two of Cups. And the Three of Wands. I'm also going to show you some of the minor arcana to give you a feel of what is there. And they are basically pip. I don't really own a deck that is pip version. So this is completely new for me, and that is probably one of the reasons why I'm not as keen on this deck at first. Because I've never worked with a pip deck, I'm not sure how to feel, and I'm used to a lot of imagery being around, so for this it's very little, and some of the cards, they have some imagery to them and sometimes they don't. I think the pentacles are the ones that do have a bit more illustration to them. And that one is Three of Pentacles. At first I was really confused because with there being three crystals and three pentacles, I didn't realise that it was Three of Pentacles, as I thought it was Three of Wands until I did see the Three of Wands. So for me that was just a little bit confusing. So yeah, some of the imagery doesn't feel completely finished, but apart from that I really do like this deck. I will say as well that it can be a little bit tricky for me personally to shuffle this deck, as going that way it really stretches my fingers and sometimes I can't really move my fingers that well. And even shuffling it this way can be tricky because it's sometimes a bit too thin and it just falls out of my hand, if that makes sense. But other than that, I feel like they are beautiful and they shuffle really well once you get a good movement going. But those are really the only few things that I have against this deck. I will show you the ones that I really do like now, which is the Hermit, and Death. With the Death card this time round, I don't dislike it, but I'm not in love with it. It's one that I'm warming up to, but it's taken me a while to, and normally it is the Death and Hermit card that I fall in love with instantly. So with this, it is a new experience, and maybe that is what I need with this deck. It has given me a different perspective, a different way of learning, and a different opportunity of changing my style up, I guess. This is just gorgeous. I think this was one of the ones that I fell in love with instantly. It was about 1:30 in the morning and I was waiting for my nails to dry, and I decided to go on Etsy and I found this deck, and I knew instantly then that this was a deck that I needed to have. I did see some of the minor, and so I had inklings about it being a pip deck, but I didn't know for sure. There's nothing wrong with having a pip deck either. It's just, like I said, I've never really worked with a deck like that. And that is it. So yeah, I think that is all I can really say at this moment with how I feel. I have been trying to do this video for most of the day, and I will say the more I hold this deck, the more I start to fall in love with it even more, even with the cards that I'm not as keen with. So it is going to be a new experience for me. It's something completely different, and there's nothing wrong with me not finding some of the images that well. I mean, they may grow on me over time and it will give me a new area to explore. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was made some sense. I'm sorry if I am stuttering and all over the place. It is a pretty warm day and it's been one of those months for me really, and so I'm just trying to find my feet again. But yeah, that is all I can really say about this deck. I was just curious to see what all three of these decks would look like together. So we've got Shades of Magic, Seeds of Shakti and the Moon deck, and together they look very yummy, and I thought I would just add this in at the end just to see what they would all look like. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day and I will speak to you all later. Bye.